The Lincoln Wishlist sales event is happening now. Here's what's on everyone's wish list. Enjoying holiday jingles with brilliant 3D audio that surrounds you? Check. Watching snow flurries through the panoramic Vista roof? Check. Packing up presents with the spacious Lincoln Splitgate? Check. Everything you want. All standard on the 2025 Lincoln Navigator SUV. Visit your local Lincoln retailer or learn more at Lincoln.com for exceptional offers on 2025 Lincoln vehicles today.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. Jay Kelly, the new film from Academy Award nominee Noah Baumbach. George Clooney stars as an actor confronting his past and present on a journey of self-discovery, alongside Adam Sandler as his devoted manager. Critics are calling it a declaration of love to the chaotic art of filmmaking, with the Wall Street Journal praising it as a transcendent comedy drama. Watch Jay Kelly December 5th, only on Netflix.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Attention Ditto Heads. Attention Bo Scouts.
Goes by the pseudonym Bo Snerdley.
It's time for the Soul of Excellence.
He is a radio host here in New York.
The Rush Hour is on the air.
Rush.
Now here's James Golden.
There are, of course, concerns among lawmakers, experts who've tracked this. They're saying previous arrivals of large numbers of refugees from different parts of the world, inevitably there may be a small handful who are eventually deemed a security risk of some kind. What reassurances can you make about the screening process and the attempts to make sure that somebody like that doesn't make his or her way here?
I can absolutely assure you that no one is coming into the United States of America who has not been through a thorough screening and background check process.
And nobody knows who the hell they are, Cheryl. These aren't the interpreters that we talk. These were people that rushed into the planes, and they were so interested in trying to make it sound like, oh, they're doing a good job. These people, many of these people are going to be terrorists, okay? They're going to be terrorists. They were very powerful. They were very energetic in getting onto the aircraft.
They say they're vetting them very carefully with biometrics and documentation.
They're not doing that, and you can't, because there is no documentation. And that.
Those two voices you heard, ladies and gentlemen, are from 2021. Jen Psaki, assuring us that all of the Afghan refugees coming into the America under President Joe Biden had been thoroughly vetted. Nope, we're not going to have any problems. The other was in 2021. Donald Trump, in an interview with Cheryl Atkinson, expressing fear that the people coming in under this mass migration of Afghan refugees, some of them, he said, his words, would become terrorists because they were not vetted. Welcome to the post-Thanksgiving Day, but still Thanksgiving weekend. The Black Day. We're on the Black Day now. It's black. The Black Day in America. Time when everybody celebrates Black Day. Black Friday. Edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour, the fastest hour in American media. Of course, sad news, such terrible, heartbreaking, heart-wrenching news over the Thanksgiving Day. You know already, the National Guard, one of the two, dead, confirmed dead. It was so heart-wrenching. Her father was sitting by her side as the life slipped from her. And he let it be known a few hours before that her wound was mortal. There was no way she was going to recover. And it didn't take long before Donald Trump announced that U.S. Army National Guard person Sarah Beckstrom had passed away, 20 years old. The second soldier involved is fighting for his life, An attack allegedly punctuated by the cry of Allahu Akbar. That's what's being reported in a story by Tom Tillison today that you can find on the Daily BS. And there were reports in this story that even the Biden administration members of the Biden administration had a lot of angst over who was coming in with this refugee program that was hastily put together after Biden's botched raid, or actually his botched withdrawal, which led to a raid that killed 13 American military personnel. Whole thing is a mess, folks. It's just one complete mess. Judge Jeanine Pirro, we'll get to that, had some really strong words to say about it. Pam Bondi did as well, and we have other news reports reporting on the terrorist Ramanali Lakhanwal, who was in Washington State, made his way to Washington, D.C. How did that happen? We'll get to know. President Trump is taking a lot of heat from the left for saying that he wants to permanently pause immigration from third world countries. And as you can imagine, that's not going over too well with American leftists. At the same time all of this is happening, one of the members of the Seditious Six, Maggie Goodlander, is warning that we're in the midst of a healthcare crisis. And there are questions being asked, a little Ebonic language there on Black Friday, about the CIA. This terrorist that killed this National Guards person worked with, it's fair to say, and I don't know how deeply this went, but again, you've seen the reports that this Afghan refugee was among those that worked with CIA assets, at least in Kabul. Now, what kind of work, I'm not clear. How deeply was the involvement of this individual with the CIA? I'm not clear. I don't know. And I'm not going to start or delve or go into conspiracy row. I leave that to others. But I will just say that I find it odd that we had Miss Slotkin, one of the head organizers of the Seditious Six, along with Captain Mark Kelly. Miss Slotkin, the other day, we played a sound bite from her warning that civilians would be shot. She was trying to blame and indict Trump early, saying his dangerous. And then she had a speech over at the Brookings Institute where, again, she said some things, that things are going to get worse in a month, or so she predicted. And, of course, her background is CIA, and a lot of people are just taking notes. This has been described, the Seditious Six operation has been described as right out of the playbook of what covert intelligence operations do when they want to subvert when they want to, how shall we say, foment instability in other countries. So people are taking notes, and they're putting things together that may or may not be related. Too early to say on that, but people are aware, and they're looking, and they want to know answers to questions. Who funded this Seditious Six video? What was the impetus for it? Because there were no illegal orders. By the way, what do you get when you do this? How does it play out among people who are, let's say, not the educated one. We have cut 6. This will speak for itself. I hope we have all the foul language out. But you listen at this, and this is the reaction of, this is in Washington, D.C., this person. And just listen to the language and listen to what he says, and then put that with what we know of what the seditious 6 has been saying.
News, National Guard member just got shot today, and that is, it's a good wake up. So now, y'all know your job title is no longer oppressing people. You can get belt to your ass too. It could be you too. So I hope it's harder for you to sleep at night, and I hope you stand on your swivel as you refuse to quit serving this dictator whose illegal orders to keep you all in D.C. are unconstitutional anyway.
So that was reaction from a civilian in D.C. celebrating the attempted assassination of 2 National Guards. One has died. And yeah, good for them because they are, I hope they realize now that they shouldn't be oppressing people and following illegal orders and unconstitutional. Where does that come from? There's one party that has come from. It has come from the Democrat Party with people like the seditious 6. Now, I know it's hard to play through the beeps. He's thrown a lot of the F-bombs and the S-bombs and all the rest of it. But I want you to play that one more time now that you know the context of it, and see if you can listen through the clips and listen to what this he's a young black guy, looks to be in his 20s, of course, where do most of these leftists record themselves? In their cars while they're claiming to be oppressed. One more time, and then we'll head to a break.
News, National Guard member just got shot today, and that is, it's a good wake up. So now, y'all know your job title is no longer oppressing people. You can get belt to your ass too. It could be you too. So I hope it's harder for you to sleep at night, and I hope you stand on your swivel as you refuse to quit serving this dictator whose illegal orders to keep you all in D.C. are unconstitutional anyway.
That's the reaction to a National Guards person, young 20-year-old woman serving her country being killed. Celebration. And citing the fact that the dictator has been giving illegal orders to them. This is what that seditious operation is all about, ladies and gentlemen. Spreading this among the population. James Golden, Snerdley, it is Black Friday. The blackest day. That's a good day in America. Black Friday. Don't go away.
Rush. This is the Rush Hour with James Golden.
Snerdley.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
James Golden, known popularly as Bo Snerdley.
This is the Rush Hour with James Golden.
Rush.
So we're still celebrating Thanksgiving, even though it has so much dark history. I mean, I live with family, so I have no choice, but I'm not happy about it. I'm really not. It should be banned for good.
You do that, honey. Oh, man. On this day, James Golden Snerdley with you here. Have you been following what has gone on in Hong Kong? I must tell you, I've never seen anything like it. The videos that are coming out of Hong Kong, folks, this weekend, a horrific fire. So far, there are at least 128 people dead. When you see it was not just a tower. It's a series of towers. I think 6 or 7 of them in this complex. They had bamboo scaffolding, which is not uncommon in parts of Asia. And they also had the buildings clad with some sort of substance as they were working on these buildings. These buildings held 2,000 people. A fire started somehow, and it spread to 6 of the 7 buildings there. Watching the video of these buildings going up in flames, to me, was just amazingly horrific. I don't know about you, but I saw a documentary about the 600-year Spanish Inquisition. And, of course, in medieval times, setting people alight. Of course, we know that even in the United States. Setting people on fire was one of the preferred methods of execution, burning people at the stake, as it was called. And I've always thought that was one of the most dreadful ways to leave this plane. And to see that fire running through this entire complex of high-rise buildings, to me, was just utterly frightening and horrific. It took firefighters, over 1,000 firefighters, 24 hours. Over 1,000 firefighters, 24 hours to try to bring this fire under control. It's still smoldering. Horrific. In Sri Lanka, there was a flood, 80 people. I mean, the earth plane is a really deep place to live, folks. Always keep that in mind. We'll be back. Fastest hour in American media. Don't go away.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
James Golden, known popularly as Bo Snerdley.
This is The Rush Hour with James Golden.
Rush.
Bellingham, the city where D.C. sniper John Allen Muhammad once lived, is in the news because another resident is accused of going to Washington, D.C. and shooting people. And this time, the circumstances are also complex.
I know we've definitely done a lot.
Whatcom County has opened its arms to Afghan refugees who fled during Operation Allies Welcome. World Relief of Whatcom County says they are proud to have welcomed nearly 400 Afghan refugees, and multiple churches have also helped with food and housing. In fact, the Washington Department of Social and Health Services says thousands of Afghan refugees sought humanitarian relief in 2022 and hundreds more in the last couple of years. The board member for the group Afghan Advantage, an organization that has worked to empower and educate local refugees, called the shooting allegations heinous, leaving the community heartbroken.
That report, ladies and gentlemen, from the local ABC News 4 out in Bellingham, Washington. James Golden, Snerdley with you here. You heard coming back that report of from Bellingham, Washington. Let us examine some of the other things that we have. Let's quickly go Pam Bondi, and this had to come before it was announced that the National Guard's woman had died. This is cut for Pam Bondi.
Walk us through the process that the Department of Justice is going through right now, please.
Sure. We're evaluating everything. Everyone's been up all night since this happened, evaluating everything regarding this monster. The president's right. He is a monster who did this. You know, we have looked at, Emily, failed policies of Biden, from auto-pinning violent felons being taken off death row to letting people into our country without proper vetting after the entire Afghanistan debacle. And it has been tremendously horrible for these young people's families who are going through this. Right now, we will base our charges based on their prognosis.
Well, the charges now apparently are going to be asking for the death penalty. Here's Judge Janine Pirro, cut 2. she was on Fox, and she just let her frustrations, you can just hear the frustration.
Let me say one more thing, and it's not about this case, it's about vetting in general. The nonsense that the left gave us with this Operation Welcome Allies. Look, there was no vetting. If you think there was vetting, I have a bridge to sell you. If you saw the chaos that was going on at that airport in Kabul, in Afghanistan, it was typical of what was going on in the Biden administration. And the Pentagon, I believe it was Kirby and people in the Biden administration, said the Afghan withdrawal that we all know was disastrous was a success. And that's a quote. They called that a success. That chaos is not a success. That is a nightmare. And 13 American servicemen and women were killed at that airport because the Biden administration couldn't get their facts together and couldn't make a decision regarding the rules of engagement to take down a known suicide bomber. So let's stop namby-pambing around with this, oh, he was vetted. There was no vetted. The Welcome Act was thrown down. They even admitted that they short-circuited the vetting. What they did was they brought in 90,000 people into this country that were not vetted. They told us all the other immigrants were vetted. What do? Call the FBI in Afghanistan and say, gee, do you have anything on this guy? Did we call Venezuela and say, gee, how about your criminal justice system? What can you tell me about this guy? It's like the 10, 20 million illegals who've been let into this country. We don't know who they are until we suffer the consequences that we have seen in Washington. And I was on that scene, and it is a very sad place. And Sarah Beckstrom and her family did not deserve this. They should have been protected, which is the first order of government. And the left ought to stop their nonsense and recognize that they are not speaking for the American people. They are speaking about ideology and politics. Donald Trump, the president, the attorney general, and myself were interested in the facts, in the prosecution, making people accountable, and rest assured, we will.
And the Democrats have already started with their line. Their line, of course, is that, see, this is Trump's fault. He should have never brought those National Guards people into Washington, D.C., and now they can't believe that he's actually said he's going to increase the number following this. I don't know whether there was something wrong with her video or the audio from her video or not, but this is Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Cut one. I thought it was a guy when I kept looking. I'm saying, this can't be her voice now, because I know what she sounds like. But anyway, this is Wasserman Schultz.
Would an individual have flown across the country to target law enforcement officers in Washington, D.C.? And, I mean, the answer is likely no. So why wasn't the president's first thought, wow, maybe I should reconsider deploying military troops in the nation's capital or in any city, particularly not when they haven't coordinated closely with the leadership of these cities?
This is just absolute garbage. I mean, I don't understand what logic is here. She's questioning, would he travel to do? He did travel from Bellingham, Washington to Washington, D.C. somehow and did what he did. I don't get it. But her whole point is, again, let's just blame Trump for deploying the troops. Now, I don't want to overlook something, folks. And this may be a little harsh, but this is also, let's go to cut 5. See, in reporting on this terrorist in Afghanistan, and let's
what we know is that he comes here from Afghanistan. Now, this is a guy who's been living in Washington State, not Washington, D.C., on the other end of the country. He comes here from Afghanistan in the summer of 2021. Remember what that was like. Refugees fleeing Afghanistan, people had to be recommended by U.S. people on one end, vetted on this end by government background checks as far as they could do in Afghanistan, have sponsors and so on. He settled in Washington. He applies for asylum in December of 2024. Now, he goes through another vetting process involving that, and he's approved for asylum in April of this year under the Trump administration. He comes in under the Biden administration. These checks are being done. I remember, as a part of the Joint Terrorism Task Force in New York, where we supplied people for that vetting process, It was a lot of pressure. There was a lot of people. They were being kept in military installations. A lot of that vetting had to be done very quickly. I also remember we had to go back afterwards when we found information on certain people and bring them back. In this case, that's all we know about this individual, but it appears that he must have done work either for or with the United States in Afghanistan to become part of the Allies Welcome program and be brought here. That still doesn't get us closer to motive.
No, although...
Now, a lot of the left is using this to say, see, Trump vetted the guy. Trump did this. Trump did this. Let's go back and really parse that. He came here in 2021. For some reason, he waited until 2024 to apply for asylum. Why? Donald Trump wasn't in office in 2024. He applied for asylum at the end of Joe Biden's term. Donald Trump took office late January. A few weeks after that, less than 12 weeks after that, vetted while this administration was still standing up on its feet, supposedly. But the vetting happened between December and April. And so now they're trying to use this to pin on Donald Trump. And I would suggest to you that something is off with this entire story, with this person. If you're coming here as a refugee, why did he wait to claim asylum? He came in 2021. There is something here that does not pass any smell test at all. All right, cut 9. Donald Trump, news report from CBS, and this has the left beside themselves.
The Trump administration did make this announcement today that it would be re-examining green card holders from 19 countries that mirror Trump's travel ban 2.0. But there had been a previous announcement by the administration that they were already planning to do this a couple of weeks ago. Now, we have heard from members of the Trump administration who point to a program that allowed Afghan evacuees to enter into the United States in September of 2021. A lot of finger pointing around what's known as Operation Allies Welcome. And CIA Director Radcliffe said the alleged shooter traveled to the U.S. in September of 2021. His ticket in part due to that program, but also powered by Operation Allies Welcome and his work with the intelligence agency as a member of a partner force in Afghanistan. But just to get people up to speed on what the vetting looked like as part of that program, a Justice Department Inspector General audit found of the nearly 90,000 evacuees that fled to the United States, ultimately the FBI flagged just 231 individuals through watch list screening, including 55 who entered the U.S. before being identified. So it is still a very small subset of this population of Afghan evacuees who were identified as being on the federal government's radar before entry when you consider just how many fled in the aftermath of the U.S. evacuation of Afghanistan to the United States.
Does anybody think that there were 90,000 interviews, 93,000 interviews with all these people? No. Come on. Does anybody think that the 11 million who came in under Joe Biden's watch, that there was any serious vetting of those millions of people? No. So, President Trump was also asked about Somalia, and this one, by the way, that one question that about this vetting, there was a female reporter that asked, it was Nancy Cordes, that asked the president about this Afghan national. And then she started asking, why do you blame the Biden administration? She was trying to pin him, and he said to her, because they let him in. Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person? And that, along with him saying to a reporter the other day, becoming a be quiet piggy, and in recent weeks, the New York Times had an article about him aging, and he called their reporter ugly. And those things now have formed a story that is spreading around the Post. Trump lashing out at female reporters, calling them ugly, stupid, and piggy. They don't like that. And I just am not going to I'm not going to comment on it any further, except to say they don't like that. They don't like it, my friends. We are going to deal with this healthcare deal tomorrow because time is quickly running out. I will also say that what Donald Trump is now saying he's going to do with immigration and stop immigration, you bet this is going to be contentious. Democrats are watching their power base become threatened. And they don't like it. And they will do everything they can to prevent this from taking place. My friends, this holiday season, please help the Red Apple Audio Networks feed those in need. You can go to redappleaudionetwork.com/turkey and you can join us. Join Red Apple Audio Networks, AARP, New York City, the Police Athletic League, Gristedes, D'Agostino's Supermarkets, and Nationwide Imaging Services as we all deliver holiday meals for more than 5,000 families across the city. Go to redappleaudionetwork.com/turkey. That's redappleaudionetwork.com/turkey. James Golden, Snerdley. By the way, weather. If you are traveling and you are up in the north, there is lake effect snow already happening in some parts of the country. Check your weather forecast, especially if you're going to be flying around. The snow, the winter is here in some quarters of these United States of America. So be careful. Check your itinerary. Check the flights. And if you're, for instance, like if you've moved from Florida, let's say you moved to North Carolina and you went outside and it's 39 degrees today in the morning. Winter is here in some parts of the country. So check yourself. Make sure you have enough warm clothing. James Golden, fastest hour in American media. Do not go away.
Rush. This is the Rush Hour with James Golden.
Bo Snerdley.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
It's the Rush Hour with James Golden.
Goes by the pseudonym Bo Snerdley.
Rush. Now, here's James Golden.
My friends, this may be the biggest political lawsuit in American history that's going to happen. President Donald Trump has officially terminated every executive order and all other documents Joe Biden signed with the auto pen. Any document signed by Sleepy Joe Biden with the auto pen, which was approximately 92% of them, is hereby terminated, he said. No further force or effect. Canceling all executive orders. Anything else that was not directly signed by crooked Joe Biden. Because the people who operated the auto pen did so illegally. And he ends with, thank you for your attention to this matter. This is going to be huge. It's going to end up, you know this is going to end up at the Supreme Court. You know the left is going to have a royal S fit. On this day in 1929, Berry Gordy was born. He is the founder of Motown Records. 1957, Jackie Wilson recorded Reet Petite, a song that Gordy had co-written with his sister Gwen. And he recorded 6 more written by Gordy over the next 2 years, including this one, Lonely Teardrops. With the profits of those songs that he wrote with Jackie Wilson, he opened Motown Records. And Motown Records, of course, starting with the Miracles, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, but the Temptations, the Supremes, the Four Tops, Martha Reeves, the Vandellas, the Marvelettes, Gladys Knight, the Pips, Stevie Wonder, even down into the later years, groups like Rare Earth, of course, Marvin Gaye, the Jackson 5, and so many others. The Isley Brothers, briefly on Motown, became the force of America's sound, part of the American soundscape. Motown Records under Berry Gordy, who has a birthday today. Berry Gordy's still living, born in 1929. We got to go. May God bless, protect each and every single one of you, your families, your loved ones. Love and gratitude always, my friends, for your being here with me, allowing me to be with you. God willing, back in the morning, early. Princess Di, Lizzie, your telephone calls on the Saturday morning vibe. The Saturday morning vibe is always good. Be here for it. Till then, I bid you adieu. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. You can hear Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour weekdays at 4 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder,
what the heck is going on here?
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here, wishing you a very happy half-off holiday, because right now Mint Mobile is offering you the gift of 50% off unlimited. To be clear, that's half price, not half the service. And Mint is still premium unlimited wireless for a great price. So that means a half day, yeah? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.